Welcome to Andalusia, and welcome to Nerja. It's behind there. In this video I will hike from the ocean up in the mountains. I will follow Spain's dark past. Terrible events from 1936 to 1939 when it was a civil war. And it was super bloody. It was the first war really where the civil population was the aim. And have the events of Guerilla symbolizing where Franco took aid of Hitler, Nazi Germans, to carpet bomb the city. And in this video I will walk in the footsteps of the civil war and what happened after. Because from Nerja I'll follow the trails up to a place called Frigiliana, and that was where the resistance hold out in the mountains around it, and then finally reaching Acebuchal, the lost village, where towards the end of the war Franco's troops came there, firstly removed the inhabitants because the maquis, the resistant movement, held up in the mountains around there. So Malaga was held by the Republicans, and Sevilla was quickly taken by the Phalangists. And Franco, he was the general of the African troops in Morocco, and he flew in with the help of Mussolini and of Hitler, the forces to Sevilla over the Mediterranean Sea. And the purge on Malaga was very ugly. It was one of the worst during the war. And people tried to make their ways to Almeria, going along the coastline. The old highway, the new one is up front. But they were bombed. So it's estimated that between 3,000 and 5,000 civilians, well, they lost their lives. And not only taking Malaga, Franco and the Phalangists, well, they would also come to Nerja and to Frigiliana and to this village. When Franco controlled all of Spain in 1939 was that if you had any whatsoever ties to the Republic, well, you were going to get executed. So you had two options, well, three. You could either go to France, which many did, and continued fighting the Vichy regime, also helping to liberate Paris. Or, well, you met your destiny in Spain in a concentration camp or killed, executed. Or third, you took to the mountains to continue the guerrilla warfare.
Los cuatro generales, los cuatro generales, los cuatro generales, mamita mía, que se han naufragado, que se han naufragado.
So, when you come to Spain, Andalusia nowadays. I mean, the dark past is something that you don't really reflect on. I mean, during the dictatorship, the brutal dictatorship, there were still people coming to this area of Spain. Here I have a friend. Hi. So, and it's not so strange after all, because there hasn't really been a reconciliation process either. It's been successful in the way that Spain turned to very successful democracy, but the wounds of the past, well, they were forced to be shut out. And it's not only until quite recent that the grand sons and sisters have started to ask questions. So it was over this ocean that the forces were airlifted. And it was a core troop of the phalangists, the Moors. Actually, the Moors, well, they came over the Mediterranean Ocean already in the 700s, 711, I think. And well, they stayed for over 700 years. Here I just have to check where I'm going. They built a highly impressive empire with main resort being Cordoba here in Andalusia, but also Alhambra, the World Heritage Site, the Granada. It wasn't until the 15th century with Ferdinand of Aragon and Queen Isabella. And in order to hold on to power, Isabella and Ferdinand, well, they commenced the Spanish Inquisition, a different dark chapter. It lasted for a couple of 100 years to have control, where they used the Inquisition process with the help of the Catholic Church and Pope to get rid of the Muslims that had been here for a very, very long time, also Jews and Protestants. And there weren't too many Jews left when Franco came into power and the Second World War took place. A way that they had in the Inquisition to see which ones were not true believers, well, it was that they added ham, added pig meat to many dishes, and in that fashion they could reveal who was only hiding their beliefs. Since it's so green, right now. It almost feels like it's not rainforest, but well, kind of. That you're not in Europe anymore, but out and about. I will see. I might be forced to turn around if it's too much water, but I will see how far I can go. Hello, mister. What you're on about? Enjoying the water? Yes. I leave you alone. Wet feet. It's a bit like a climbing exercise. You have to be careful where you step. So that you don't fall into the water. Now I'm on the road up to Frigiliana. Made it to Frigiliana. Tomorrow heading to Acebuchal, so start the day there. So I'm looking forward to showing you that lost village and the mountains around it where the guerrillas hide out when they fought against the phalangists. So see you tomorrow. In 1948, phalangists came to this town of Acebuchal, the wild olive tree it means. This was about 9-10 years after the civil war ended. And they came here to forcibly remove the citizen of the village, to set up a base and to hunt down the remaining maquis, guerrillas that made resistance from the mountains around here. So Acebuchal became ghost village, lost village. And it wasn't until 2000s, end of 1990s, that relatives of the forcibly displaced came back here to rebuild it. So it's the next day. Yesterday came to Frigiliana, but Acebuchal and hiking up into the mountains for the maquis holding out. And I have company. My mother and also with my father somewhere. So the maquis, they hid out in these mountains, relied on support from villagers. Some went to France, and when Franco gained power of all of Spain in 39 to assist against the Vichy regime. And actually the word maquis, well it's a word. Do you know, Mom, where it comes from, maquis?
I think it signifies the very dense, bushy, not quite forest, but half tall bushes and small trees that cover the slopes like this. Very hard to penetrate, and also really good protection against wind, and you can't be seen very easily.
Yeah, so it's from Corsica, and the resistance movement there against the Vichy, and it symbolizes this bush quite well, the actions of that group. But what's interesting to note is that, well, the word guerilla, it's Spanish from Andalusia, and it was from the Spaniards defeating, well, the first battle really that Napoleon lost. And Napoleon, he caused a lot of destruction, damaging Alhambra in this region, and really awful. But guerrilla, that's Andalusian.
Är det?
Ja.
Alltså, kan du filma det?
Försökte,
Med den
men
där
inte
kameran.
riktigt om det.
Vilken topp.
Där, tvärs över.
Är det lite snö?
Kanske. Jo,
Ja, det är det.
lite längre bort.
Hur ska vi få den? Ska vi lägga oss här i gruset och
Jag ser den inte.
rulla?
Där.
Ja, där. Oj, jösses. Är den farlig?
Ja, för hundar och små barn, den är giftig.
Oj.
Det kallas för processionslarv.
Man ska inte gnida in den i huden.
Nej.
Lång den är.
Jag vill flera.
De är...
Du ser, en är så här.
Ja. Är de på väg någonstans?
Får fråga den som är först.
Till berget kanske.
Upp i träd, tror jag.
Är det de som gör det här vita?
Ja, precis.
Vet vi vad det är för hus där nere?
Och inte där uppe heller.
Ja, men där uppe är ödehotellet.
Ja,
Och sen är det de där som vi går förbi några av.
ja just det.
När vi går ner igen.
Men vi tittar som ödehotellet.
Kaffe. Sugen på kaffe?
Jo.
Var inte du där med din syster Kristina? Det är lite kul med rosmarin som blommar här ute.
Jo, för det kan man ju ta med hem och laga mat.
Blommande. Titta, den här jättestor rosmarin.
Det räcker till flera.
Med blommor, det är bra häftigt. Det luktar så gott också.
Ja. Vamos.
Går efter en bergsget.
En yeti.
Men det såg du i Alperna lite.
Bouquetin.
Och titta, den här liljan, den är vacker. Jag kommer inte ihåg vad den heter, men oj vad fin den är.
Ja, verkligen. Fint.
Ska vi sjunga?
Båda röster klingar när vi går över dagstänkta berg, faller och...
De spelar in spagettivästen.
Var ligger den då?
Jag är borta mot Alhambra. Almeria.
Kusten mellan kusten och Granada. Det fraktades torkad fisk och grönsaker och frukt och spannmål och mycket vackert. Och det var ju åt båda hållen också.
Mm. So this route was used in the past days, in the old times, to transport goods between the ocean and Granada, and the Acebuchal became a logistic point hub. I think we'll walk through past the ruin of an old tavern where the ones transporting the goods with their mules could rest for the night. It's quite difficult to imagine the conditions and that the maquis lived under, hiding out here, occasionally performing some acts of resistance, and that's when Franco, well, he came to power, controlled some parts in Spain, beginning of the civil war, but in 39 all of Spain, and this guerrilla activity continued until beginning of the 50s.
Det är någon rovfågel.
Svårt att säga på det här avståndet.
Nu står vi här. Vänta för Bojero.
Ja,
Vänta här.
vänta.
Oj, det finns lite krossat glas här.
Oj då.
Var försiktiga faktiskt.
And the guests. But I don't think we will stay for the night. And the tree. But so they would stay the night here to rest on their way to and from the sea and to Granada, the historical city with Alhambra. Allez.
Allez, allez, allez.
We're almost made the way back to Acebuchal. The author Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, he participated in the civil war on the side of the Republicans, and he wrote that a civil war is not a war, it's a sickness, one fight with oneself. And he would later become a pilot for the Allied forces, and in 1944 he did reconnaissance flight by Corsica for the landing in Provence and retaking of Europe. But his plane mysteriously went missing, and in the 21st century it was found the traces on the shore of Marseille. I would like to go and hike in the history of the resistance against the Vichy in Corsica and follow those paths, the GR20, through hike of Corsica sometime in the future. So follow the channel if you would like to come along on that adventure as well, home to the maquis. How long do you think we have left to Acebuchal?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. So thank you for watching this video, and see you on the next adventure. Would you like to wave goodbye?
Bye bye.